So let's see how we have added keywords in our previous model where we were doing something like this for click, right? If I copy click from here and go to this class, this is for the page factories. And if I try to implement this over here, this will be a little bit different as compared to the basic page object model. Because here we are not taking this driver.find element and CSS, XPath, all these things are defined in our page factory locators, right? So we'll not be doing it like this. This much should remain same, but over here, what I'm gonna take is web element, and I'm gonna perform element dot click like this, right? And maybe I can give the element over here. So element, how are we gonna get this element? How are we gonna read this element? So this element we're gonna get it if I go to my pages, that is home page, right? And we are doing home page dot flight def. This is basically an element. So instead of using click from here, I can simply say click home dot flight def. Right, so click, it accepts a web element, and we have given web element, and then we are doing that element dot click, right? Same way, wherever we are doing click, if we try to do it in this way, so let's say click, click, where is click? Like this, click. Let's just try for the click first. And if it works, then we'll make it for the send keys as well, right? So just a wrapper. So we want to report logs in extent report. So we have created a wrapper like this, a wrapper method like this. And over here, we'll be doing click and then click. Okay, so this should be, how are we gonna get it? We'll say page dot click, right? Because here we are not extending the page, and rest of the pages we are extending page, so we got the click directly. So let's run it and let's see if the logs are being maintained or not. So what we have written inside the click method is it should say log.debug, add it in the log file and add it in the report as an info. That's great. So if I run this thing now in, so the log should be added over there. Okay, so there's an issue. I mean, at times this is shown as a button, and at times this is shown just as a text. So we need to figure it out. Probably we're gonna use find all over here. So at times if it shows as a button, it should click on that button, or else it should click on the text, right? So let's try to fix this as well. But before that, let's see if the logs are being generated or not. And if you look at the reports, Yeah, the first one got failed, right? So see, clicking on this, right? Although we get the browser information and other information. This is in a form of something like a string. You can break the string and take this much part as well. But for the reference, we should be able to understand that we are clicking on this header account menu. Then over here, same clicking on this XPath. This is actually giving you a locator value over here, right? Then clicking on button type equal to submit. Right, so through this way, I mean, you can easily map these things with your keys, and you should be able to understand where actually it is clicking, right? Now, let me try to fix the sign in as we were facing it a couple of times that wherever the link is there, it is actually wherever the link is there, it is not clicking on that element, right? Because sometimes it is showing it as a link, sometimes it is showing it as a button. So top navigation account and then sign in button. This is sign in button, right? So we can use something like we have used find all. So I'll take one of the locator from here, that is from the home page, created something called as at the find all. So either it should get it from the CSS, that is this, or from the XPath. And XPath we can write it like double backslash. Just give me a moment. So it's like double backslashes. Yep. This and then contains text sign in, and let's see if that is the text sign in. Yep, this I should, yep. So either it should look for this or it should look for this particular element, right? Now let's try running it, and it should work all the time. Oh, okay, some issues. Let me relaunch it, just give me a moment. So let us rerun it. why it is actually launching a new page. Okay, this is weird. Okay, let us look. What is the issue? If you use find all, you must also use a find by annotation. We have already used find by. Oh, okay. Again, the same mistake. We haven't removed that previous annotation. So let's run it. Hopefully this time it should work fine. And say it did work. Right, so we won't face any such issues again because we have already handled it, right? Okay, but here it shows locator as this. Okay, because we have actually given it find all, so it is showing us both the locators. Okay, that should be fine. We should be able to fix this thing as well. Uh, but again, we need to create another wrapper. So wrapper around this element. So yeah, I mean this will be a little bit challenge. It should actually gonna show you same element twice over here because we are actually getting this web element, and against this element we will actually gonna get this thing. So if we are trying to get the element instead of that, we're actually doing it clicking on an element. There's nothing else that can be used. Yeah, this is the only way. I mean, you can add by giving the element name over here, right? Otherwise, you need to hard code it. All right. So this is only when the case you have multiple elements when you're finding multiple elements. So it may gonna show you something like this, right? Or else you need to hard code it. You need to give an element name over here, and you need to accept that name wherever you are actually calling it. Wherever you actually calling click, you need to hard code the name, and you need to give that locator over here, which we would not like, right? So now same thing we can implement it for send keys as well. right? For send keys, the keyword was something like type, so which accepts the locator and the value. I'm gonna copy this and in the page, so typing will be just element dot send keys. So element dot send keys. I'll give element over here, web element and say element dot send keys and give the value over here. Typing into an element and give the element where we are actually typing. Right, so this will remain like this. And if I go over here, so wherever we are doing send keys, instead of this, we're gonna say type, the locator is this, the comma, and give from like this. So we can remove this. Same thing, we need to do it everywhere. So give type wherever we are doing send keys, and then replace this thing with a comma. So we have hard coded this value over here. So number of adults and number of children. So wherever we are calling it, we are calling this book a flight inside flight search test. So there we are already feeding the values, right? Okay, so we have done send keys for this page, and same thing we need to do it for the home page, the sign in page, right? So we'll say type, I want to type, and this will remove it with a comma, right? So we fixed the typing part as well, and hopefully if we run it now, so the logs for typing will also be generated. So extend report we're gonna have all these logs printed. All right, and let's refresh it. See, we have logs for clicking and typing and enter the value as this, typed and enter the value as this. First test was passed, and then we have typing in and giving the complete locator, enter the value as this. So all the things are coming over here like this, right? So this is how you'll be maintaining your reports and the logs, and even if you go over here, you're gonna see the logs generated inside application logs. You're gonna see all the logs over here, right? The same logs in the text file and your Selenium logs as well, right? So the last part that is left in this project is running with Jenkins and sending out emails, and again implementing data provider is another part that we have. So these are the two things we're gonna look in the next lecture. We're gonna see how to read data from the Excel the same way that we are seeing it since beginning, from the data driven from page object model. The way will remain as it is. The data provider, common data providers will remain as it is, and this part will remain as it is. So this we're going to implement in our next lectures. We're going to see in the last two lectures we'll talk about these things only. All right, thank you.